Part 8. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 71. Thinking of this, I no longer hesitated, held the Thunder Jew in my hand and rushed towards the Blood Fiend. Although the Blood Fiend had no facial features, his teeth were still there. He showed his fangs and rushed towards me. He was extremely fast and was in front of me in the blink of an eye. I was startled, and raised my right hand, which was flashing with thunder and lightning, and struck the Shuesha on the forehead. There was a bang, thunder bursts from the sky, and thunder and lightning exploded. Before I could react, I just felt like I was knocked upside down and flew out. He rolled several times on the ground and hit a tree with his back before stopping. I felt a sweet sensation in my throat, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. Looking at the bloody demon standing not far away, I felt more and more horrified. The blow just now didn't cause any damage to him. How should I survive with such a disparity in strength? Etc. I seemed to have discovered something. The blood demon stood motionless, as if he was afraid of something. A thunder exploded from my ears, followed by lightning and thunder, and drops of rain fell from the night sky, soaking my clothes. The thunder and lightning seemed to be more violent than before. The terrain of Yizhuang is slightly higher, so standing here can give people a feeling. That was the thunder and lightning not far away from me. I finally understood what this blood evil was afraid of. He is afraid of the thunder of nature. I suddenly recalled the scene when I picked up the 9 layers Thunder Jew twice. The first time was in Yizhuang. The second time was just now. After pinching the Thunder Jew, the thunder and lightning became more violent, and then it started to rain. Is it possible that the 9 layers of thunder art can cause thunder in heavy rain? In order to verify the conjecture in my heart, I struggled to stand up and picked up the 9 layers of Thunder Jew again. The rumble of thunder exploded in my ears again. I felt happy. It seemed that my guess was good. If you can use the sky thunder, you can definitely destroy the blood evil. Thinking of this, I looked at the blood fiend. He looked at me again and roared like a beast. I ran towards higher ground. If I remember correctly, there should be a peach tree not far away. Peachwood and even yang things use peachwood as a medium to use thunder skills to attract thunder from the sky. Such safety can also be guaranteed. I'm a little lucky that it's a thunderstorm tonight. Otherwise I will really die here. Although he is not out of danger now, there is a glimmer of hope. The blood demon followed me step by step. Logically speaking, when the blood evil spirit comes out of the coffin, the first person to attack must be his family. But Xia 11 didn't know where she went. He shifted his attack target to me, hoping to drain my blood to restore his physical strength. Only in this way can he hunt his family better. I swear, I've never run so fast in my life. In less than a minute, I came to the big peach tree. The peach tree is very big, with lush leaves, and it looks like it is old at first glance. I leaned against the peach tree and stared vigilantly at the blood evil not far away. The blood demon has just come out of the coffin. Although he has intelligence, his current IQ is like that of a fool, and he only follows his nature to suck blood. Therefore, if you want to deal with the blood evil, you need to pay attention to his extremely fast speed and huge strength. The blood demon roared and rushed towards me again. I stared at him without blinking. The blood evil opened its bloody mouth, without gums, and its blood-red teeth seemed to grow out of flesh and blood. The current appearance of the blood demon is really terrifying to the extreme. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 72. As long as I can dodge when the blood demon is about to pounce on me, I can make the next plan. The blood demon shuttled through the wind and rain, and soon came to me. My body was tense and I didn't dare to relax at all. The evil energy was spreading all over the place, and time seemed to stand still at this moment. My pupils dilated and contracted, and I used force on my feet to dodge to the other side. That is to say, at the same time, Shueisha's entire body was grazing my body. Just when I thought I was successful, the blood evil suddenly stretched out its sharp claws and clawed hard at the chest. Unprepared, my chest was torn open, and a sharp pain spread throughout my body. I fell to the ground, and the blood demon also hit the peach tree due to inertia. The impact of the blood evil was so powerful that it made a big hole in the thick tree body, and his head was accidentally stuck inside. Seeing this scene, I felt happy. Ignoring the severe pain in my chest, I struggled to stand up. I took out the ink brush from my pocket, straightened my hands, and then attacked the blood evil. I used ink pipe thread to tie the blood evil spirit to the peach tree. In some zombie movies, there are scenes where Mo-Do-Sien restrains zombies. This blood evil is ultimately a zombie. The ink pipeline can naturally restrict the blood evil's actions, let alone the ink pipeline soaked in rooster blood. The blood demon pulled his head out of the tree and roared loudly. I took a deep breath and used all my strength to perform the first level of the 9 levels of thunder technique. The lightning flashes in my hand, which looks particularly dazzling in the dark night, but there is still a big difference between the thunder in my hand and the thunder in my hand. Because I performed the thunder technique, the sky thunder circled above my head, and the deafening thunder exploded in my ears. Using my current strength to draw thunder from the sky is tantamount to gambling with my own life. If I am not careful, I will be shattered to pieces. But I have no other choice. I came behind Shueisha with a quick stride, raised my right hand containing thunder, and slapped Shueisha on the back hard. Boom! In the night sky, thunder and lightning hovered and were about to fall. After I struck the blow, I quickly moved away, but I still underestimated the speed of the thunder falling. The moment I took a step forward, the hovering thunder suddenly fell. My eyes were filled with white light, and the thunder rolling in my ears almost shattered my eardrums. The hot breath came over me, and I fell to the ground and rolled down the mountain. I didn't know how many times I rolled over, but my shoulder hit hard on a big rock. The heartbreaking pain came again. There was still thunder in my ears, but I don't know how long it took before the thunder disappeared. I gasped for breath and couldn't catch my breath for a long time. Now I feel like my skin is burned, my eyes are still white, and my ears are buzzing. Fortunately, I was only affected by the residual power of the thunder. If it had been a second later, I would have died together with the blood evil. I don't know how long it took, but I finally felt like I could move. I stood up with difficulty holding onto the stone on my side. The night sky was still filled with thunder and lightning, but it was much weaker than before. I held the book in the mountain and walked towards the big peach tree. When I came to the big peach tree, I breathed a long sigh of relief. The blood demon had been chopped to pieces, and not even his hair was left. Except for the main trunk of the peach tree, which remained in place, the branches and leaves had disappeared. But it is still full of vitality and alive, and the main trunk is not scorched. I looked at the peach tree that had been struck by lightning in a daze. If I remember correctly, this is the legendary lightning-struck tree. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qingnian Wanba. Chapter 73. Lightning-struck trees refer to trees that are struck by lightning on rainy days when they are growing normally. Such trees have the effect of warding off evil spirits. Peachwood originally belongs to Yang, and is the nemesis of evil things by nature. After being baptized by thunder, if such peachwood can be made into a magic weapon to deal with evil spirits, it will be a great weapon. I never thought I could get such a treasure. This is really a disaster, but you will be lucky. Before I could be happy for long, I was brought back to reality by the severe pain in my chest. Now my condition is very bad, my skin is bruised by the residual power of the thunder. This is not the most serious thing. The most serious thing is the injury on my chest. I looked at my chest, and my clothes were torn apart by the bloody claws. Black gas came out of it, and the bright red flesh rolled away, which was particularly shocking. The blood evil has been eliminated by me, and the task assigned to me by Su Tianxian has been successfully completed. But, Xia 11 disappeared. What do I do? Go find her? Or go back to Ji Yuntang? But in my current state, it is difficult for me to walk. How can I find Xia 11? What we need to do now is to contact Su Tianxian and explain the situation here to Su Tianxian. Then they talked about looking for Xia 11. I took a look at the lightning strike wood. I couldn't take this peach tree away now. I could only wait until the incident was over. I dragged my tired body towards Yizhuang. But within a few steps, the biting cold wind hit me, ruthlessly tearing at my wounds. I took a breath. The injury was not that serious. Just when I gritted my teeth and wanted to move on, I suddenly felt like there was a pair of eyes staring at me in the darkness. I looked around and saw nothing. I rubbed my head. Is this an illusion caused by mental stress? At this moment, a cold female voice sounded behind me. Lusu. I was stunned for a moment. This voice is Sulugo. This is really a wave of ups and downs. What am I going to do now to fight with Sulugo? Sulugo's sinister and vicious voice lingered in my ears like a demonic sound. You can't run away this time. Judging from Sulugo's voice, she was very close to me, less than 2 meters behind me. My body stiffened and I was thinking about countermeasures at a rapid speed. But, what can I do now? Suddenly, a dark wind blew behind me, and a pale ghost hand slowly placed on my shoulder. The cold ghost claws touched my cheek along my shoulder. The biting cold sent shivers down my spine, and then I felt Sulugo's chin gently resting on my left shoulder. Lusu, I hinted at you like that before, why are you so indifferent to me? Sulugo blew gently into my ear, her breath constantly stimulating my skin. I didn't dare to move or speak. If I moved, I might be killed by her on the spot. Sulugo's cold ghost claws gently stroked my face, and her long nails scratched the skin, making people wonder, as if she would tear my cheeks apart and eat my flesh at any moment. This is how to do. In my current situation, I simply cannot use the 9 layers thunder technique. Is it possible to use bloody hands? If I use bloody hands, I will also be killed by the evil energy. Now I have no idea at all. Etc. I seem to have overlooked something. That's the ghost mark. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 74. This ghost seal was given to me by Xiang Yi. Contains the power of ghosts. You must know that ghosts are the nemesis of all evil ghosts. And I haven't used this ghost mark yet. I don't know exactly what abilities it has. I took a deep breath and secretly used the power of the ghost seal. At this moment, I felt a burning heat coming from the palm of my hand and spreading throughout my body. At the same time, Sulugo seemed to feel something and quickly distanced herself from me. I took this opportunity and turned around suddenly, and saw Sulugo's pale ghost face full of horror. You are actually a ghost. Sulugo exclaimed to me in disbelief. To be honest, I don't know what specific abilities this ghost seal has. But Xiang Yi told me that the door to hell is opened by ghost seals. But if I open the door to the underworld now, will Sulugo go in? It's obviously impossible. To put it simply, this ghost mark gives you a new identity, ghost. It has no use other than opening the gate to the underworld. This disappoints me a bit. However, the existence of this identity is enough to scare most of the evil spirits. Comparing ordinary people to candles, a weak flame cannot scare the devil. But Guicha is different. He has long since changed from candles to incandescent lamps. What I am now is enough to blind Sulugo's eyes. I looked at Sulugo coldly and said in a serious tone, you deserved your crime and deserved your death. Now after your death, your ghost lingers and continues to linger in the world. I didn't want to argue with you a few times before. But you still refuse to let go. But don't blame me. I am not saying these things because I have the means to deal with Sulugo. But he was bluffing. Sulugo was afraid of my identity as a ghost agent. So as long as I act tough enough, she will be scared away, and then I will be fine without having to do anything. After hearing what I said, the fear in Sulugo's eyes obviously became stronger. She backed away repeatedly and looked at me speechless for a long time. I still looked at her coldly and said nothing. Even though I looked so calm, I was already panicking inside. Damn it, you should leave. What are you doing standing here? Sulugo spoke. Why? Why did you take me away? Leave without that woman. She killed me. She killed me. That woman? Does it mean Sia 11's sister? Sulugo asked this question very deeply. Can I take that ghost mother away? Obviously I can't, let alone the ghost mother. I can't even take Sulugo away. Sulugo's emotions started to get out of control, and the evil wind around her became strong. She shouted at me hoarsely, since you want to take me away. I won't. If you didn't help me, I wouldn't be able to die. I'm going to kill you. Kill you. Even if you are a ghost from the underworld. Sulugo's reaction seemed a little different from what I thought. I still looked at her coldly and said sternly, in that case, don't blame me for being ruthless. I'm still testing to see if I can scare Sulugo away. But I still underestimated Sulugo's hatred for me. The fear on Sulugo's face slowly dissipated, and her eyes changed from fear at the beginning to determination, until they turned into resentment now. I'm going to kill you. I just want to live the life I want. Am I wrong? As soon as she finished speaking, Sulugo rushed towards me. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 75. I really didn't expect that Sulugo would become angry. I was just bluffing. With my current physical condition, it is difficult to walk. How can I deal with Sulugo? What to do? Could it be that I am going to die here? Ha ha ha. I'm going to kill you today. Kill you. Sulugo's shrill scream pierced my eardrums. It also made me realize that I was getting closer to death. I can't die here. Now I can only use my bloody hands again. I know that doing so will cause great harm to Su Tianxian, but I have no choice. Master, I'm sorry. Sulugo came towards me, her long hair flying wildly in the wind, and the ferocious expression on her face made my scalp tingle. I raised my right hand with difficulty, intending to use my bloody hand to subdue Sulugo. At this critical moment, a figure suddenly stood in front of me. You kid, you are so crazy, you actually caused the thunder from the sky to kill the blood evil spirit. This voice, is Xiang Yi. He actually came to save me. Sulugo's crazy laughter stopped suddenly. She stopped, and quickly retreated to distance herself from Xiang Yi. She felt an unprecedented fear in Xiang Yi. This fear comes from deep within the soul. Just like mice are naturally afraid of cats. Xiang Yi looked at Sulugo with a serious expression and cold eyes. He held his hand in the air, and a chain appeared in his hand. He waved his hand casually, and the chain flew away through the air, penetrating Sulugo's bones with a pop, and then Sulugo's screams echoed in the lonely night. Xiang Yi slowly stretched out his hand and made a fist towards Sulugo. Sulugo didn't even have time to scream, before she was beaten to the point of death by Xiang Yi. This scene made me stupid. Xiang Yi turned around, looked at me in a daze and said, "Boy, are you scared to death?" I suddenly woke up, shook my head quickly, and said to Xiang Yi, "Master Xiang, thank you." Xiang Yi waved his hand and said, "You kid, don't do this to me. If you die in the hands of this female ghost, you will be a disgrace to me, Xiang Yi." "What does it mean?" Xiang Yi continued, "You have the ghost seal I bestowed upon you, and you are considered mine. If you die, won't I be laughed at by my colleagues? The corner of my mouth twitched slightly. He took a long time to save me because he was afraid that I would lose his face if I died. Xiang Yi looked at me, his eyes full of admiration. However, what I didn't expect was that you boy could actually eliminate that blood evil spirit. It seems that I didn't choose the wrong person. Xiang Yi gave me the ghost seal and I can feel what is happening here. If I hadn't activated the power of the ghost seal, Xiang Yi wouldn't have arrived here in such a short period of time. A wry smile appeared at the corner of my mouth. The reason why I was able to eliminate the blood evil was entirely because I had the right time, place, and people. If it hadn't been a rainy night tonight, I think I would have died by now. I thought for a while and asked, Master Xiang, do you know where Xia 11 went? Xiang Yi was stunned for a moment and asked with some confusion, Xia 11. I nodded and told what happened about Xia 11. Xiang Yi fell into deep thought after hearing this, and after a while he said, that little girl should be fine. As for where she is, I think your master should know. I breathed a long sigh of relief when I heard that Xia 11 was okay. Then fatigue spread towards me. Xiang Yi saw my appearance and said quickly, let me tell you. If you faint here, I will not carry you back. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qingnian Wanbao. Chapter 76. Xiang Yi's words made me slightly stunned. Unexpectedly, such words could be said from the strong and cold Xiang Yi. Boy, this is your first time using it today. I'm here to give you a heads up. The ghost seal will not give you power, but it can give you identity. In the final analysis, you still need to improve your strength. But Xiang Yi paused and continued, but you are my agent in the world of the world. With this status, you can walk freely. Remember, you must become stronger as soon as possible and don't embarrass me. Then Xiang Yi said something incomprehensible. And only when you become stronger can you better protect your master. Just when I was about to ask clearly, Xiang Yi disappeared directly from where he was. Better protect my master? How could my master be so powerful and ask me to protect him? I sighed and walked towards Yizhuang. Before arriving at Yizhuang, I did not go in. Instead, I took out my mobile phone and called Ruo Heng. Hello. Ruo Heng's voice was a little muffled, and she seemed to be still asleep. It's me, Lu Su. Oh. Then there is no more. The next second I heard slight snoring coming from the other side of the phone. I couldn't help but smile bitterly, this woman. Hey. Ruo Heng. Come pick me up quickly. Otherwise I will sleep in the wilderness tonight. I yelled into the phone. The two of us have left each other's contact information before. Now I can only ask Ruo Heng to pick me up because I don't have Su Tianxuan's contact information. Ruo Heng hummed in agreement. Immediately, the rustling sounds of dressing and Ruo Heng's muttering were heard. You disturb my sleep in the middle of the night. Do you know that poor sleep will make you look ugly? Soon, Ruo Heng on the other side of the phone got dressed. She picked up the phone and asked, where are you? I told Ruo Heng where I was. After hearing this, the latter asked me to wait where I was and she would be there in a moment. I leaned against Xia 11's car, feeling that my whole body no longer belonged to me. The fatigue and pain made me mentally weak to the extreme. About 20 minutes later, I heard the roar of a car, and then a beam of light shone on me. Ruo Heng opened the car door and walked towards me cursing. I'm talking about Lu Su. You don't sleep at night, why do you come to the wilderness? Is there? Ruo Heng was stunned when she saw my current appearance. The words he wanted to curse were stuck in his throat. Lu Su. What's wrong with you? She screamed and hurriedly came to me and helped me up. I smiled at her and said, It's okay. Ruo Hung quickly helped me get into the car. Just wait, I will take you back to Jiyuntang to find Master Tianqian now. As he spoke, he started the engine. I quickly stopped and said weakly, Ruo Hung, please do me a favor. Ruo Hung looked at me and asked with some confusion, what are you busy with? I pointed in the direction of the lightning strike wood and said, there is a lightning strike wood over there. Please help me get it. After Ruo Hung listened, her chest heaved violently. She pointed at me and couldn't say a word for a long time. Lu Su, don't you know what you are like now? Are you still thinking about that broken piece of wood? I got up in the middle of the night just because of you, and now you ask me to move wood. I glanced at Ruo Hung apologetically and said, I'm sorry, that piece of wood is really important to me, so I can only trouble you. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 77. Lightning strike wood is really important. If you meet a knowledgeable person, you will definitely be taken away by him. Just in case, I can only ask Ruo Hung to pick it up for me. Okay. I'll get it for you. You wait for me here. After that, Ruo Hung got out of the car. I couldn't hold it any longer, so I fell into a deep sleep. When I woke up again, I was in my room. The first ray of sunlight in the morning was a bit dazzling for me. I stretched out my hand to block the light and slowly sat up. Su Tianxuan's cold voice suddenly came to his ears. Woke up. I nodded and looked at Su Tianxian. At this time, she was sitting by the bed facing the morning light. Her beautiful face was particularly soft and beautiful against the morning light. You did a good job this time. Su Tianxian praised. A wry smile appeared on my lips. How could I have survived if I hadn't risked my life? Besides, the Xia family just wants to move a grave, so I can just evaporate their body. What should I do? Master, Xia Jingming's body is no longer there, how can this grave be moved? Su Tianxian thought for a while and said, since the body is gone, let's make a tomb. I nodded. The burial tomb is actually not impossible. As long as the clothes of the deceased are buried in the coffin, and the coffin is buried in the Feng Shui treasure cave, the effect of the Feng Shui treasure cave can still be exerted. At this moment, I suddenly thought of Xia 11. I thought that her whereabouts were still unknown, and I felt a little anxious. I quickly said, Master, Xia 11 is missing. Su Tianxian nodded and replied, I already know about this matter, and the person who holds the fate of the sheep has already appeared. I was stunned for a moment when I heard this sentence. Everything I do now is to find people with the fate of holding a sheep. And now the person with the fate of Qingyang has finally appeared. Thinking of this, I felt a little excited. I asked, Master, who is this person with the fate of holding a sheep? Su Tianxian slowly uttered two words, which made my heart tremble. Xia 11. I never thought that Xia 11 would be the person I was looking for. Then Xia 11 has disappeared, what should we do now? Su Tianxian explained to me, you don't need to be too anxious about this matter. Xia 11 is safe now. When the time is right, I will naturally take you to find her. Hearing Su Tianxuan's assurance, I breathed a sigh of relief. But immediately another question came to my mind. Since Xia 11 has the fate of Qingyang, why didn't Su Tianxian notice it at the beginning? With his master's divination ability, he shouldn't be able to tell. I got rid of all the doubts in my mind. Xia 11's fate is covered up by heaven's secrets, and I can't see through it. The 9 evil stars are destiny and are covered by heaven's secrets. And the Qingyang evil star is one of the 9 evil stars, so the fate will naturally be obscured by the secret of heaven. I suddenly understood when I heard this. Then Master, how did you know that Xia 11 is the person we are looking for? Su Tianxian continued to explain, Xia Jingming's destiny is the false sheep star, and the meaning of his existence is to cover up the real sheep star. So the real person who holds the sheep's fate must be the closest relative to Xia Jingming. What happened after that is easy to understand. Xia 11's destiny was concealed by heaven. It can be inferred that the person who really has the destiny of Qingyang is Xia 11. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanba. Chapter 78. Su Tianqian stood up and said, "The coffin has been broken and the 9 evils have emerged. Currently, only the Qingyang evil star is under our control. You must speed up and transfer Xia 11's destiny to you before that ghost. Only in this way can you fully master the power of Blood Hand." In the sky coffin, Zhu Xia was imprisoned. And this 9 evils have a great entanglement with me. If nothing unexpected happens, my right hand is the power of the evil star holding the sheep. If I want to completely master the bloody hand, I must place the Qingyang evil star in my life palace. As for Su Tianxuan's statement that the evil star of inviting sheep is still within our control, it is actually not difficult to understand. All the 9 evils ran out of the coffin. The whereabouts of the other 8 evils are unknown. Perhaps they have found their corresponding destiny, or they may exist in the world in various forms. Of course I don't know these things. But the only thing that is certain right now is the evil star Qingyang. As long as I can master the bloody hand, my strength will definitely increase a lot. Master, what should we do? Su Tianqian walked towards the door with her long, slender white legs. I will arrange these things, and I will tell you how to do it when the time comes. Su Tianqian paused, changed the subject, and said, "I'm a little hungry now." After that, he walked towards the first floor without looking back. I got up quickly and started preparing breakfast for Su Tianqian. While eating, I asked about the ghost disguised as Xia 11 in Yizhuang. After hearing this, Su Tianqian put down the bowl and chopsticks, pondered for a moment and said, "What you encountered should be a painted ghost." Painted ghost? The painted-skinned ghost's true appearance has a blue face and fangs, and is vicious and ferocious. This kind of ghost often wears the skin of a woman he has drawn and pretends to be a beautiful woman to harm people. The purpose is to kill young men and eat their hearts. Could it be that Xiang Yi saying that it's hard to paint the skin but the bones is referring to this painted-skinned ghost? If I'm not wrong, this painted-skin ghost should have some connection with Xia Jingming. Ruo Heng saw this painted-skin ghost before when she entered the soul. I don't know the details. After that, without waiting for me to ask any more questions, he picked up his chopsticks and started eating. There is no need for me to continue asking about things that Su Tianqian doesn't even know. After eating, Su Tianqian stood up and said, "I'm going out." I was about to ask what I was doing, but Su Tianqian left without looking back. I sighed. It was a blessing that Su Tianqian could tell me before going out. If I left without saying a word, I would still have to worry about it. After Su Tianqian left, I came to the second floor of Jiyuntang. As mentioned before, there are many rooms on the second floor of Jiyuntang. One room contains a variety of books. The contents recorded in the books are various secret techniques. I plan to continue reading these books to improve myself. But there are some rooms that I have never been to. Su Tianqian did not specifically tell me which rooms I should not enter. So I pushed open a door next to the study. The room was very dark and I couldn't see anything clearly. I turned on the light and was completely shocked by what I saw. An altar is placed in the front of the room, complete with incense burner and incense. And the person who offered it turned out to be the famous Zhang Tianqi. Zhang Tianqi's paintings were so lifelike that I had an illusion when I looked at them. He's looking at me. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanba. Chapter 79. Why is Master Zhang Tianqi enshrined in Jiyuntang? This puzzles me. I found some incense to offer, respectfully offered 3 sticks of incense to Master Zhang, and then left the room. I found a book, and when I came to the first floor of Jiyuntang, a familiar voice suddenly came from outside the door. Xiao Su. Hearing this voice, my whole body was shaking with excitement. I turned around suddenly and looked in the direction of the door of Jiyuntang. It's the second uncle. Second uncle. I put down the book in my hand and ran towards my second uncle. I fell into my second uncle's arms, and my second uncle laughed. Why are you so reckless, kid? I raised my head and looked at my second uncle. I haven't seen him for a while, and my second uncle has become much older. Second uncle, where have you been during this time? My nephew is having a hard time looking for you. During this time, I did not give up looking for my second uncle. From time to time, I would call the third uncle to inquire about the whereabouts of the second uncle. But when I asked the third uncle about the second uncle, the third uncle would hesitate. Well, it's a long story. I took my second uncle's hand and said, "Second uncle, come in and speak slowly." But the second uncle stood still and refused to move an inch. Xiao Su, I came here today just to take a look at you, and I have one more thing to tell you. After hearing this, I was slightly startled. Second uncle, you'd better come in and talk. The second uncle shook his head and refused to come in regardless of what he said. The second uncle's expression became a little serious. He looked around and whispered in my ear, "Xiao Su, listen to the second uncle and don't stay around Su Tianxian. She is very dangerous." I became more and more confused, and asked puzzledly, "Why?" Second uncle. Second uncle sighed, stretched out his hand, rubbed my head, and said, "Second uncle can't tell you too much. You just need to know that Su Tianxian is very dangerous. You must be careful when staying around her. I know very well what Su Tianxian thinks of me. How could she harm me? There must be some misunderstanding." Second uncle, what are you talking about? If it weren't for my master, I would probably be dead. The second uncle shook his head and continued, "You kid loves to trust others. The second uncle can only tell you that I have been investigating the affairs of our family during the time when I disappeared. Su Tianxian approached you for a purpose. You must be careful." The second uncle glanced at Ji Yuntang, and then said earnestly, "Remember, don't tell anyone about your meeting with me, including the third child." After that, the third uncle was about to turn around and leave. I quickly took the second uncle's hand and said, "Second uncle, there must be some misunderstanding in this. How could my master harm me?" Seeing that I continued to persist, the second uncle's face showed a little anger. "You boy, I am your second uncle. You are my nephew. Can I lie to you? Everything I say is for your own good. If you recognize me as your second uncle, you must do as I say." Seeing my second uncle like this, I knew that my second uncle was really angry. In my impression, my second uncle has always had a good temper and rarely gets angry. I nodded and said, "Second uncle, I understand." The second uncle smiled slightly, stretched out his hand, rubbed my head, and said, "This is my good nephew." As he spoke, the second uncle took out a small note from his pocket and handed it into my hand. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 80. I opened the note and saw a list of addresses and phone numbers. The second uncle said, "I live in this place now. If you need anything, you can come to me." After that, the second uncle left. Looking at the back of my second uncle leaving, I felt an indescribable feeling in my heart. What my second uncle said just now really concerns me. I don't believe Su Tianxian would harm me. Likewise, I don't believe what my second uncle said is groundless. There must be some misunderstanding. One is an elder who watched me grow up, and the other is a master who treats me very well. No matter who these two are, I cannot doubt or deny them. So I'd better investigate this matter secretly to see what kind of misunderstanding the two people have. I picked up the books on the table and started to read them carefully. At noon, Ruohong came to the store. When she saw that I was safe and sound, she breathed a long sigh of relief, and she was also a little surprised in her heart. Lu Su, I didn't expect that you recovered so quickly after suffering such a serious injury. I thought you would stay in bed for 10 days and a half. I smiled slightly and said, my physical fitness is good, there is nothing I can do about it. Ruohong rolled her eyes after hearing this, picked up the fruit on the table and started eating. What does it mean that you have good physical fitness? It's obviously due to Master Tianqian. I cannot deny this. I was able to recover from such a serious injury in such a short period of time because Su Tianqian must have used some special means. I suddenly remembered something and asked, Ruohong, you and my master have known each other for a long time, right? After hearing this, Ruohong nodded and said, it's been a few years, what's the matter? I immediately became interested and asked, can you tell me about my master's past? Ruohong glanced at me and fell into deep thought. After a while, she raised her head and said, I really don't know much about Master Tianxuan's past. Anyway, I know that Master Tianqian is a very good person. Of course, she is an action person and is not good at expressing. Even if you misunderstand her, she will not argue. This sentence is correct. I misunderstood Su Tianqian last time because of my grandfather's death. At that time, she had no excuse and was still doing her own thing. Ruohong stood up and said, you must have cultivated for 8 lifetimes. Only in this life can you become a disciple of Master Tianqian. After listening, I smiled at Ruohong and said nothing more. Maybe Ruohong is right, I really have the blessing of cultivating for 8 lifetimes to be able to worship Su Tianqian as my teacher. If this is the case, why should I still doubt my master? Oh. By the way, your piece of lightning strike wood was taken away by Master Tianqian. The lightning strike wood was taken away by his master? Ruohong let out a long sigh with a sour tone. It seems that Master Tianqian wants to use that piece of lightning strike wood to personally build a magic weapon for you. I'm really envious. I was slightly stunned. Could it be that Su Tianqian left today just to help me build a magic weapon? Thinking of this, I feel warm in my heart. Ruohong waved her hand at me and said, Lu Su, I'm leaving. I should come back to you in a few days, and then we will resolve the remaining matters with you. After that, Ruohong left without looking back. Ruohong sang a ghost show for Xia 11's sister before, and she had already been involved in the cause and effect, and she had to take action to resolve it herself.